Hey, everybody. Thanks for downloading another episode of the Black and Gold podcast, brought to you each and every week by Boonshine Brewing Company. They're doing a great job making the high country a better place and to help Boone shine. And you need to come try out some new specials. The Nashville Hot Chicken Sandwich. I'm especially excited about this. I love Nashville Hot Chicken. Crispy fried chicken tossed in house-made Nashville hot sauce, topped with pickles and ranch, which is great. It's a great fried chicken sandwich combo. Also, check out the Hawaiian flatbread, sweet, savory, and seriously delicious. And then the soup of the week. I'm not a big soup guy, but it's a 15 bean soup, warm, hearty, and perfect for chilly days. And also, I thought this was kind of cool. Boonshine is the official beer of the Boondocks Film Festival, which is going to be taking place. Let's see here. I don't have a date on here. I don't think it's happened yet.
I didn't see one either when I was looking earlier, AJ.
So okay, here it is.
But
They didn't put it on
there were 15 beans either.
15 beans. So the festival is the 27th and the 28th of February. So it's pretty cool. So Charles, let's and we thank them for, of course, being the sponsor of the show. Go check out Boonshine. I'm your host of the Black and Gold podcast, Alex Johnson. With me, as always, the world's most famous App State fan. He is Big C. Big C, where do we stand on soup? Give me a soup take.
I need like 3 bowls of soup a year, and that's it. And I haven't had one yet. So whatever you want to take from that, just run with it.
You have one in like April. You'll get one in like April, and then like another
I'll
one.
always have one when it's like, it's usually closer to spring, but not warm out. And I'm like, I don't want that soup sitting here until December, and I'll just eat some soup, and make a grilled cheese and be like, wow, that was nice. But that's usually how that goes. It's like, who wants to stare at soup for 9 months? If there are any soup eaters outside of like soup months, I would love to know, but also I would also not like to know if you're like eating soup in July. That's
that's actually very interesting. Like, ooh, what would sound good right now? French onion, and it's like August 5th. It's like, do we really want soup? I mean, it's the whole point of eating soup, I think, is to be warmer. You want to be warmer when you eat soup.
But it's also not a meal, in my opinion. Like it's part of something else.
Yeah,
like
you got to have some heavy like protein in there for me to make it a meal.
Yeah, that's the only way you can do it.
Yeah, for sure. So all right, here we go. We're very excited about this week because men's basketball went on the road and absolutely kicked some butt. We got a road sweep, which is making us feel very, very good. We have some good news to report on tennis and wrestling. And next week, we were just talking about this. Next week is the baseball preview. And we won't unfortunately be able to do this on Valentine's Day. But hopefully we can work out something cool with Kermit, which this will be our 9th baseball preview with Coach Smith.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's really wild. This kind of reminds me of what we were talking like last week with DeMarco about how, he was talking about getting injured in high school. We're like, well, that was 10 years ago. He was like, oh my God, that was 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And it's kind of the same thing.
Yeah, that was a great conversation. I enjoyed that last week. He's a pretty serious guy when it comes to his craft, and I think he had a really great jolt this year. I don't know where he's going to land, but I don't think free agency starts till after the Super Bowl, right? Isn't it like after the fact that guys?
It's actually I think the league year starts in March, and usually the high end free agents have organized things. Those who are unrestricted and looking for new teams, looking to get paid and stuff like that, and you probably see him on into March down the line if he gets picked up, or even later.
Yeah.
Before any type of mini camps and such. So,
right. Before we jump into Olympic sports here, I want to, of course, thank our sponsors, Styles Roofing. Now, this I got to say, folks, spend a little time here. Go follow Styles Roofing on Facebook and Instagram, because my man Billy Styles is actually out there on Instagram flexing some social media muscle. He's teaching people about roofs. He's teaching people about the risks of ice in roofs. You're going to get an education. It's going to help you take care of your roof a little bit better. So go follow Styles Roofing on Instagram and Facebook. Pretty sure they're not on Twitter. I'm pretty sure Styles Roofing is not on Twitter, but they are on Instagram and Facebook. Check them out for some great roof content. If you're just dying to get some shingle content in your life, go check them out. If you're in the greater Charlotte area, of course, though, 704-842-1874 is the number you can call or text to talk to Billy Styles about getting your roof checked out for either a replacement or a repair. It's actually really funny. So Billy, in one of those videos, said if you have any questions or whatever, 704-842. I was like, I've said that number so many times. So it was just kind of funny to hear somebody else say it out loud. But they're the best in the business. Not going to get paid up front. They're only going to get paid when the job's done. Also, shout out Community One Insurance for those in North and South Carolina. If you want to save some money this year and get better service with your insurance provider, regardless of what kind of insurance it might be home, auto, business, RV, land speeder, Millennium Falcon. I don't know. It could be whatever it is, whatever you want to get insured. If you want to save money and get better service, contact Zach Ligon or Matthew Johnson at Community One Insurance. Appalachian State grads, love working with Mountaineer fans. And the number to call or text 828-455-2335. And like I said, we have some Black and Gold podcast listeners that have already switched over, so you could be the next one. And yeah, so let's get into this, Charles. Let's actually talk a little tennis, because we're big tennis fans now. Like we're a tennis podcast now. Of course, you've always been a tennis guy. Now the last match that we have to cover here is against UNC Asheville. We absolutely clean them up, 7 matches to nothing. And of course, our girl Savannah Dada Maskell here in doubles action. They take care of business 6-2, and then she goes and wins her singles matchup as well. I think she win Sunbelt Player of the Year. Player of the Week again, or is this still the same one?
I have not seen a new one announced. And usually, some of those come out later in the week. This is a Tuesday, so we're a little early in the week, so maybe we'll see.
This is last week. No, this is not a new. Yeah. This will come out like tomorrow. Yeah. Okay. So this is not a new thing. That was last week. So very good. Charles, any commentary for ladies tennis here? 7-0 against UNC Asheville.
They're pretty clean scores. All matches were won by a couple breaks. But Allegra Hodson in number 4 singles splits the first 2 sets, and they go 10-7 in the third. So that was a long match. But she gets it done. 10-7. It's a lot of back and forth, a lot of hold and serve. But got it done in 3.
I like it. And then let's talk a little wrestling here. I have one of my very best friends. Actually, I have a few friends that went to Campbell, and they're good dudes. But one of my very best friends went to Campbell. He went to Campbell undergrad and law school. And ever since Campbell beat us in basketball a couple years ago, he'll text me, take the elevator every time we play Campbell and something. It could be baseball or wrestling or whatever. And so at the very beginning of the Campbell match on Friday, he texted me, take the elevator, thinking that Campbell was going to win. But guess what, Charles? They didn't. Mountaineers go into Boys Creek, and they clean up the Campbell Camels, 29-12. And then tonight in Boone, we absolutely whipped Bellarmine 30-6. So we remain undefeated in conference, 4-0, 7-5 overall. We're staring at a matchup against the Citadel on Super Bowl Sunday at 2:00 in Varsity Gym. But yeah, Charles, we love beating Campbell. That's becoming a very a favorite pastime for Appalachian fans, is seeing us rough up on the Camels a little bit.
Yep. 7 of 10 matches. That's getting it done. And then Bellarmine was Monday night, and that was 30-6, and that is another dominating win. Obviously, that was some weather. We moved that around due to some weather. Lots of weather around the state of North Carolina this week and the last couple of weeks. I think we have 8 matches there, so that's good. And then we go to Citadel. Host Citadel. What I got here?
We host Citadel on
this
Super Bowl
Sunday, and that is I think they're undefeated as well in conference play, if I'm not mistaken. So, next one up, and taking names and hopefully doing what we need to do. But yeah, that's it'll be a big match. Super Bowl Sunday used to always be, like in the past, we would, for whatever reason, for years at least, we would wrestle Chattanooga on Super Bowl Sunday.
I was getting ready to say that. Yeah, it's weird.
And so but hey, at least we get a home match, and 2:00.
What happened? I mean, why are we not doing Chattanooga? What happened?
I don't know. It's the following week.
You should know. Why don't you know? You should know these things. This is why people come to you.
I do not know why they moved it around.
That's okay.
Who knows?
We'll let you off the hook. And then now looking at ladies hoops here. Now, this was another series that was impacted by weather events. We were scheduled to play, and we did play regularly scheduled game Thursday night at 6:30 against South Alabama, which we won 60-57. But the game that was supposed to be at, I guess, 1 o'clock on Saturday was moved up, similar to how previous weekend with the men's games.
Yep.
To where we played Friday afternoon at 4 o'clock, which that ended up being a great decision. They got out just in time, which I assume they got out just in time. And we do lose that one, though, unfortunately, 78-70. So we're scoring a little bit defensively, kind of dropping the ball a little bit. No pun intended there. So we are 7-4 at home, 3-7 away, 3-8 in conference. Not doing great in conference play, 10-11 overall. We do split at home. We love to not split at home. But we do split at home. Charles, what do we think about these this home stand for the ladies?
This South Alabama game was, it kind of flips the script like we've been talking about all year. It's this one of those middle quarters always gives us trouble, but this was the first quarter which gave us trouble. We were down 16-8, and then erased all of that going into the halftime, and then kind of played even from there on out. It was tight, but we win 60-57. That's it's a win that this team certainly needed. Both teams did not shoot well at all. It was a little bit of a slog, a lot of free throws, a lot of points scored on the line. But we had some double-figure scorers. Deja Mitchell had 17. Emma Smith had 15. They both played over 33 minutes each. And I got just enough from everybody else. Some bench participation, which obviously helps. And then, on Friday, this game starts at 4, and I walk in there, and we were down by like 15. Walked in there right after work, and it was like 48-33. And we made we were pushing, but Monroe just played real physical, and they're really active on defense. And I closed out my window, which was great. That's not what I wanted to do, but just couldn't mount enough of the right comeback late. I think we may have cut it to 3 or 4. And then they kind of finished it off. But, neither of these teams were that good as far as their record and conference standings. But Monroe game was certainly one you probably felt like you should have won. But it looked like the same thing we saw the fall, like last week with the men. It looked like you had played the night before, and you played a team where you had a tight game, and it wasn't, exactly the easiest game to win, and you had to really work for it. And so something that these teams are accustomed to doing, but when you get to tournament time, you're going to have to. Men did their job, the previous week in doing that, but the ladies did not. I feel like they're close. I think they can play it when, when they play well, like you can see it, and when they don't play well, it's really, really kind of bad. But they got a tough road this weekend. They go at Troy on Wednesday, which is tomorrow or this morning or whenever you're listening to it, this evening, whatever, sometime in the near future, and then from Troy to Kent State. And a little bit of a triangle here, and then back to Boone. So that's a little bit of a haul before coming back home, and getting ready for their second to last homestand of the year.
Yeah, I agree. I think they're slightly improving. You'd like to finish strong here, but they dug quite a hole with that record. But let's just see what happens.
It's going to be tough going down the stretch. You got James Madison twice, who is still really good, but not as good as they have been. Georgia State gives us troubles. Coastal Carolina is big. They, the last weekend should be better, but there's it's a tough slate ahead. It really is.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, let's talk about men's basketball. And I got to say, first of all, shout out, happy birthday, Coach Kearns. Since we last recorded, he's had a birthday. Today's the 3rd. I think his birthday was yesterday or maybe the 1st. I think it was maybe February 1st. So happy birthday, Dustin Kearns. I can't believe that, just sitting here talking like Kermit Smith has been here since 2017 and Coach Kearns has been here since 2019. And that doesn't feel like too long ago. It kind of is like a long time ago. Just crazy how time has just flown.
It is
for everybody. But yeah, so we go on the road, and we talked about this last week. We don't play well. We have not played well. The sample size is very small, but we have not played well at Southern Miss. We never play well at Troy, and we don't play well against Troy. It really doesn't matter where we're playing. They just really struggled against Troy. I know for a fact, Coach Kearns has a lot of respect for Scott Cross, head coach at Troy. I believe that they're actually, I don't know if they're like buddies, but I think they're friends. Very similar, I think, coaching styles. Of course, Coach Kearns is way better, way cooler, way nicer, more successful and everything else. Of course, we know that. But Troy's just kind of tough. And so we knew that going into this road trip that it was going to be really hard, and splitting would be great. We didn't split. We swept. We swept on the road. We go down and I think play two totally different games. Of course, the scores reflect that, but two different ref crews. Because Charles, we were texting about this, dude. This Southern Miss game was ridiculous. How the whistles were blowing, the flow of this game. Typically, these basketball games don't last 2 hours. It's like an hour and 50 minutes. Typically. Game lasts like 2 hours and 15 minutes because of the Zebras, man. It was brutal. But we got the win, and it didn't matter how many times they sent Southern Miss to the line. They couldn't get it done.
22 fouls called on each team. That's a lot. We pride ourselves on not fouling a lot and playing good defense and playing defense without fouling, which is really kind of big. But these refs, it was Wednesday night, right? Was it Wednesday?
Yeah. No, Thursday.
Okay. It was Thursday. I don't know why we're switching back and forth, but whatever.
Me neither.
They just it's Southern Miss plays like, I don't say physical, just kind of rough. Like it just feels like it's like a little bit of playground basketball to an extent, and usually teams that do that because they can't play any other way, which doesn't sound very nice, right? But I think when you look at this weekend as a whole, like you're talking about two completely different gyms to play in. So Southern Miss's arena is like a barn, and
it's like a rodeo barn.
It's a rodeo barn, like it is. It is straight up. It's like you got the bleachers like fastened to the concrete, like those. You hit them right, those bolts that are holding those things in are probably going to, rust it out. And then you go to Troy's arena, and they've got a nicer, newer, looks like it's a pretty well kept arena, but they got those seats like the Superdome, right? it looks like there's a million people there, but there's nobody there because they got the seats are
Right.
like all different colors. It's like,
Yeah.
and mix it
Yeah.
in, You're like, what are you doing here? It's like the whatever their colors are, the Troy maroon. It's not maroon.
Yeah.
It's and then the
It's
gray
kind of like
and
garnet
white.
almost.
Yeah, garnet. That's the right color. What?
Yeah.
The silver, all that good stuff. It's just it's gross. But Kearns is giving us having fun with this. He's like, and they always say they have like a million people there, and there's like no one ever shows up at their games. But yeah, kind of going back to Southern Miss. This is the Jalen Tot game, I guess, if you want to call it that.
He's had a couple of those.
5 of 7 from 3. Got some like everyone hit the rebounds. Like, we had Kaysen and Dodd from the guard position with 7 rebounds each. Luke and Michael had 6 each. And everybody kind of got in on it. But you had some guys who didn't really shoot that well, but we were 50, pretty much over 50% from 3. And that'll get it done. And 22 of 29 on the free throw line, and that's what you have to do. You're going to win on the road. You got to go to that line, especially if they're not going to knock theirs down like they did, and they didn't shoot well from the perimeter either.
And the guys that were supposed to hit the free throws all hit them. Todd, Jennings, and Dodd.
Yeah,
all virtually perfect from the line. I mean, they were, what is this, 18 of 20 from the free throw line. Those guys need to be the ones that hit it.
Those need to be the guys with the get fouled, and I think that's always the bang on us is that, like, oh, we don't shoot free throws well. It's like, well, the guys who draw the most fouls typically on our team are the bigs, and it's because they get open and they don't want to give up easy layups. And once you learn that, some guys struggle at the free throw line, then you're going to foul them. You're not going to give up the easy stuff because you don't want to risk, the 3-point play. You get because it's not just them scoring 3 points. It's also, hey, you also got picked up a foul at the same time. So, but yeah, this is a game where Luke Wilson, even though he started, he only played 21 minutes because we really needed to like play their 4 guards a little bit better and defend. So you saw more of Todd, Jennings, and Dodd, and then Aaron Banks played 25.
Yeah.
And so, that you had all that going on. So, but I mean, that was a huge win to get off on the right foot for the weekend going into this huge Troy game, which really turned into something that probably no one really expected. Probably expected a good game. We were at 8.5 point dogs. We were 8.5 point dogs, I believe.
Did I go away? Did I disappear? Whoops.
I got you, AJ.
I thought I did. I'm sorry. I saw I think my screen went black. I didn't see anybody. I'm sorry. You had great analysis. I'm sure I just got cut out. Yeah.
Who knows what got recorded, but we'll repeat it a little bit.
No, we're at the Troy game. We're in the Troy game.
Yeah, we're at the Troy game. And same situation with Luke here. Luke Wilson only played 15 minutes, and we got Aaron Banks playing 35. But we come out firing. We were hitting threes, right? And then we kept hitting them, and that helps. And the other part of that is that, the announcers harped on the fact that Troy hadn't been shooting the balls as well as of late. A couple of their players hadn't. And then we made it just really, really tough on them all game long. They shoot less than 33% for the entire game. Only had a pair of threes in each half. And it looked like with about, I don't know, you decide 10, 11, 12 minutes left. They were just like, this is staying our day. And we're done. And, Kaysen Jennings hit 7 threes for the game, hit 33 points, plus minus 23. All of our guys were a positive plus minus except Chad Moody. Sorry about that, Chad, to mention that, -6. But you had some good, like Troy had some great players like Thomas Dowd go 1 of 13, just like not going to get it done. And that hurt them. That hurt them. Only one guy double figures. Hold them to 44 points is really,
They played the way we looked against Monroe the other week, where just nothing went in. It's like they were playing with like different sized rims. It looked like their shooting percentages from 3 were anemic, 14%. from 3. While Kaysen Jennings was 11 points away from outscoring the entire Troy team.
Yeah, that's incredible.
And he really was hot. I mean, in the opposite was from Kaysen. Like he was shooting like into a hula hoop. It looked like everything he shot up went in. But what I thought was really interesting, yeah, go ahead.
No, you're fine. Go ahead. All I was going to say was when he got hot early, it was from everywhere. Like it wasn't like he was just like, hey, he's hitting the same spot, or he's from the corner, or he hit from one side of the key and the other side of the key, and then hit one from like top wing. I was like, the dude is throwing it in the ocean tonight.
Yeah. And so what's crazy too is like this was actually another similar game where Luke Wilson's taken off the floor in favor of Aaron Banks, and we're playing with like one big basically the whole game. And Michael Marcus, I gotta say this about Michael Marcus, like as impressive as I think Luke Wilson has been this year, just as a basketball player. I mean, he's got such size. Like when he's such a tough matchup down low 1-on-1 because he's just so big. He's just so big and strong. But like Michael Marcus, I think has really gotten better defensively. Like I feel like rebounding wise, his timing is really great, and he's just really strong down there. He's been, I think, I haven't been like following the stats or whatever, but I mean, he's probably our top rebounder every game at this point. I mean, he's just I think his game has gotten so much better as the season has gone on. He's a presence now and hits from 3 a little bit. He always makes me nervous hitting from 3. Like I'm always like, I don't know if I like that, but I like how he's improved. I think he's improved a lot.
Yeah, I mean, he really has, and when you look at this whole weekend as from the sky up, and you're like, hey, you go 2-0, you beat one of the really good teams in the league, and now you put yourself into a position, right, to like you win these tiebreakers against these West teams, which are going to have influence on the bracket when it comes to March, where you beat them, you beat Louisiana, you beat Monroe, you beat teams like Southern Miss who could be around and Troy who could be around, and that's how big tomorrow night is, Wednesday night against South Alabama. Like that's going to be as big as Troy game, as big as the Southern Miss game, because if you get these tiebreakers against these teams at the top, there's nothing they can even it up with, like with the East teams where you play them twice. So these are massive games. Wednesday, when you really think about it, like you couldn't ask for a bigger game, with the weekend game really not mattering when you really think about it, than playing someone like South Alabama. And saying, hey, look, our focus is completely on like tonight. This is the biggest game of the week, and take care of business. And all of a sudden, we'll have everybody's attention. And then you'll be looking at like, hey, we've got a few games left, and we've got to go on the road, and people will take us very, very, very seriously heading into what is going to be the latter half of the season. And the last 3 weeks, and positioning for the tournament will be critical the way this new bracket is set up.
Yeah, absolutely. So really thrilled. Man, I mean, you want to sweep at home, at least split on the road, but man, this was great. And getting Troy a little bit, just because they're so tough. That's a really good team. And you're right. I thought the same thing. Like just towards the end of that game, it's like, they've had enough. They've had enough today. They've played enough basketball. They're packing her in, which is make them hate playing App State, Charles.
That's what we did. That's what it came down to. It was, if you make them quit, man, that is perfect.
Yeah, absolutely. So, so we have been very thorough and efficient here on this episode. Real quick, want to shout out Blue Deer, downtown Boone, downtown Blowing Rock, and in West Jefferson. As the weather continues to be icy and cold, get yourself a hot drink, best coffee in Boone, get yourself a nice cookie, and if you're really brave and crazy, maybe get a milkshake. But we thank them for sponsoring the show. And then also Mountaineer Mania, downtown Boone, 497 West King Street. It's a staple. They've been around since 1981 for all your gear needs, whether it's tailgates, your hats, your t-shirts, your outer garments, your cold weather gear. Check out Mountaineer. Here's the cool thing, and I always feels like anytime I'm up there when it's like a a busy time. I always see somebody I know, which is great. But every purchase you make, part of the proceeds go towards Appalachian State athletics, which is awesome. So go check out the best place to buy gear in Boone, and that's Mountaineer Mania. And we thank them for sponsoring the show. So I don't think we've mentioned this yet, but I think we might as well. We've got a new coaching. We have new coaches. We have a new coaching lineup, and you and I texted about for football. You and I have texted about this a little bit because it's never super clear. It was never really super clear, like who was doing what last year. Because some of these guys have, like, for example, where is he? Curtis Fuller. He's the defensive backs coach. All right. Okay. So that's corners, and safeties, I guess. But then we hire a new guy, Aaron, who's a fireball, and he's the safeties coach. So now we don't have just a defensive backs coach. We have a defensive, I guess, a corners and a safeties coach. So, okay, that's cool. Then we have Justin Harper at wide receivers and Riley Watkins, who was quarterback / wide receivers. To me, that never passed the smell test. Like, you got this like grad assistant guy coaching quarterbacks and wide receivers. That was his title last year. So something was going on there. I don't know, but this has been a very unclear coaching lineup. Maybe it's getting more clear, Charles, but anyway, we have a new coaching alignment, it looks like.
And that's what a first-year head coach is going to do, right? They're going to see what works, see what they can work with, and sometimes it's not by choice, but it's by what your options are, right? And and maybe the situations are a little bit better, so where we can have established ourselves, there's less of a question mark, and you know, you have some guys who move on, and you bring some new guys in, and you figure out what's going to work for you. As far as experience and all those other things that go into building not just a roster, but, you know, even a group of coaches as well.
Yeah. We had it was this Tyler Zielinski. Is a special teams coordinator. So we're keeping that. I like that. I think it's a good thing. Our special teams was pretty good last year. I think having a dedicated, that's a drink thing, right? He brought in Eric Link. You know, he did his thing. I thought that worked out pretty good.
Well, it's, you know, those games are, you know, field position is everything anymore. All right. And if you can win with a good kickoff return, or you can block a punt, or whatever it may be, a big special teams play, even though there aren't as many of those plays in a game, you make a big play on those and they have a bigger impact. And so I think that's certainly a good situation to have someone who's a dedicated versus splitting another position with a special teams coach.
Yeah, I do too. And then Coach Shaq is staying coaching the edge rushers on the defensive line, but replacing Keith Jones is Antonio James, who's going to be the defensive tackles, so that's a replacement there. I don't really know his background. It almost feels like, I think we learned our lesson a few years ago with Drink, like, to not get settled in with the coaching staff until fall camp because you don't know what's going to happen. But so those roles are filling. And what's really interesting is Justin Harper coaching wide receivers. So Justin Harper is actually from Catawba County. He actually played at Bandy's High School, went and played at Virginia. Oh, did he play Virginia Tech? I'm pretty sure he played at Virginia Tech.
Yep.
And played for the Ravens, where he shared the field with Daniel Wilcox, which is kind of like a nice little throwback there with our friend Daniel Wilcox. He's been at LR, he's been at James Madison, and now he's at Appalachian State. I like that. I mean, he is 40-something years old. He's 40. He's 1980. Is that right? I just looked that up. But whatever. I think he's 40. But excited about that. Wide receivers, I think we had some talent last year, but I think we're too sloppy. So hopefully that Coach Harper can tighten us up a little bit, I think. So that's about all I got for football, I think.
I know he's excited to be back. You know, I will will be on his team now because when I was in high school, when Statesville moved from the Foothills Athletic Conference to the Southern District 7, my last 2 years we got lumped with some of those Catawba schools, such as the High Brighton Bunker Hills and Bandies. And we did not like Bandies. I don't know what it was. We did not like Bandies in football, but and I'm sure I was long gone at that point. So our paths did not intercede, but I know I'll run into him at some point, and I'll have to give him a little hard time about the Bandies Trojans.
Yeah, well, I tell you what's interesting about Bandies is because my son played football in a league where it was a bunch of Optimus teams from like Bunker Hill, West Lincoln, Bandies, or whatever. Like Bandies is a small, like Sherrills Ford's not some like bustling, like high population, area. It's a small community. It's very small, but they had like 2 8U teams, 2 10U teams. Like they put kids on football fields. Like they're like Hickory, which you would think that in just Catawba County, Hickory's the biggest quote unquote city, town, or whatever in Catawba County. It's where the most people live. And like we only had City Hickory only had 1 8U team and 1 10U team. Like they only fielded one. But like Bandies had multiple teams. Like they take football seriously. Bunker Hill did too, by the way. But it's great. Bandies they take care of. They like football. They like football in their little small town. So
they did.
I don't know.
They did. Yeah. And it's funny because going back, it seemed like every school in that the West Caldwell, the Newton Conover, they all had something they were like really really like loved. And like, West Caldwell was a basketball school, right?
Yeah.
And Newton Conover was a tennis school. And,
okay.
Or at least it was in the late 90s. So
no, that makes sense. Yeah.
They thought they had something for us. They did not. They did not have anything for Statesville.
Little shade there from Big C. So, all right. Well, I think we're good. I think this is a nice, tidy episode. Really, really happy to see wins against Campbell in wrestling and a road sweep for men's basketball, and ladies tennis continue to roll. Would like to see a sweep from the ladies in basketball, but we'll have our baseball preview next week. And Charles, anything else before we wrap up?
I don't think so. We're going to go short this week because next week will not be short with Kermit Smith. So we'll do everything, do everybody some justice on that end because I'm looking forward to that. Always a good time, and excited to hear what Coach has to say about the squad and what they have going on for this year.
I tell you, Kermit Smith could come to Catawba County right now and sell people on more ice. He could do it right now.
Yeah,
he could do it right now.
He probably could. They had to go. He'll tell more. They had to go to Georgia last week to get on a field in some sunshine and just play. That
wow.
When you think about what it deal. Yeah, they went to I think Savannah, if I'm not mistaken.
Savannah.
Was
that pre-scheduled?
I doubt it. I mean,
I gotta think that's kind of an expensive out of nowhere. You got to take the whole team down there. You got to stay somewhere.
Yeah, you probably do. But what else are we gonna do? We don't have an indoor to throw in. The field's probably covered. Today was a good day of melting, but who knows? We'll probably have some flakes before. And good thing we're playing in Hickory. Hopefully down there, I can't speak for it. Y'all may have gotten more than we did this last Saturday, and who knows? Hopefully we get a field ready. Yeah.
Well, the sun's been out. It's been, I think it cracked all the way up to 43 degrees today. So
yeah, it felt warm today. Yeah.
Yeah.
It felt really warm.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like, man, I don't need my coat. It's like 43 degrees.
What am I doing?
So anyway. Yeah. So all right. Next week, baseball preview. Thank you to our sponsor, Boonshine, for sponsoring the show. And until next week with Kermit Smith, go Apps.